I put a dozen eggs in here. I'm going to turn it on high and bring it to a boil. They're cage-free, large eggs. I've got them in cold water. And as soon as it starts to boil, I'm going to lower it to a medium-low and leave them for about 10 minutes. I've had it on high and it's now boiling very hard, so I'm going to lower it to medium-low and I'm going to time it for 10 minutes. The 10-minute timer went off. I'm going to take out one of the eggs and test it. I'm rinsing it in cold water. I want to see if it's cooked properly. It's good to buy the eggs ahead of time. An egg that's a little bit older, like I would buy them a week earlier, and then they peel very easy. Now we're having pretty good luck with these. I hope the rest peel that easily. Now I'm going to cut it in half and see if it's cooked. Perfect. It's solidly cooked. There's no green around it. And I can now take the rest and rinse them out in cold water. I've peeled all my eggs and I have my dozen eggs. Now I'm going to take them and cut them in half and pop out the yolk. I'm mashing the eggs so that I can put the rest of the ingredients in. Use a fork to go in and make sure that they're all broken up. You can just use a fork, it doesn't matter. When I make a lot, I use the masher. Now with a dozen, I'm going to start with half a cup of HELLMAN'S mayo. And if I need more, I'll use it. I left a little bit in the cup in case it's a little bit too much. Half a teaspoon of pepper. I don't usually measure. I just go by taste. And I'll put half a teaspoon of salt. You can always add more if you need it, but you can't take it out. And then I put the sugar, balances out the vinegar that I use. So I'll start with 1 teaspoon. I use only Regina vinegar. I really like the flavor and it works good. Probably will take 2 teaspoons. If I need more, I can add more. I use French's yellow mustard. I just use the yellow mustard. I like the flavor of the yellow mustard. I'll put about 2 teaspoons of that. Stir it all up first, right on the top, and then start to incorporate it into the eggs. And I get it all mixed in properly and enough. I'll see if I need more of that mayo. It doesn't look like I need a full half cup for just a dozen eggs. Pressing while you go. You want it to be nice and smooth. Some people use their immersion blender and blend it up like that. But I think a fork or the masher does fine. I'm not going to put the rest of this in. So it was a scant half cup for a dozen eggs. Now I'm going to taste it and see how the flavor is. I added another maybe teaspoon of vinegar. I think it needed it, and another teaspoon of sugar, and that made it very good. Now we're all set and ready to fill. You can use a pastry tube and squeeze it out with a star tip, and it looks pretty, but this is sufficient. This works. I just spoon it in, then we'll sprinkle them with a little bit of paprika. Push them down in the egg. I do put a little bit over on the white, but you got to be careful because sometimes you use up all the mixture before you have all the eggs filled. So these can be made up ahead of time and put in the refrigerator. I'm just sprinkling a little paprika on the top.